Episode 1: Why do we suffer? The 8 Truths of Life discovered by the Buddha. Morning. The moment the alarm rings, many people are not truly waking up. They are being pulled back into reality by life once again. The body is still in bed, but the mind has already started running. Today's deadlines. The boss and clients who must be handled carefully. Mortgages and car loans that cannot be postponed. Parents growing older. Anxiety over children's education. The city is in motion. Crowds are flowing. Everyone looks busy, yet very few people feel genuinely at ease. Some suffering is not dramatic, but it is always there. It is not the blow of a single failure, but a long-term, unspoken dissatisfaction. Like a seam in a piece of clothing worn close to the skin, never severe, yet constantly, subtly irritating. We strive for happiness, promotion, higher income, a home, marriage, every perfect moment displayed on social media. And yet, even when everything seems fine, a stable job, a harmonious family, deep inside there is still a quiet feeling. Something is missing. Like finishing a lavish meal, the stomach is full, but the heart remains empty. So a question arises, again and again, in moments of clarity or sleeplessness. Why, exactly, do we suffer? Act 1. The Buddha's Discovery. The 8 Sufferings, the Universal Grammar of Life. 2,500 years ago, in Bodh Gaya, ancient India, a prince named Siddhartha sat in deep meditation beneath a tree. He was not pondering abstract philosophy, nor was he escaping reality. He was confronting the most immediate and universal human dilemma. Why do human beings suffer again and again? After 7 days and nights of profound contemplation, he realized, suffering is not a punishment of fate, nor the misfortune of a few. It is a structural phenomenon, shared by almost all forms of life. Just as water flows downward, just as seeds sprout, suffering is part of how life operates. But this does not mean we are powerless. He precisely identified 8 fundamental forms of suffering. This was not poetic language, but a clear observation of reality. They are known as the 8 sufferings. 1. The suffering of birth, the weight of existence itself. Birth is not only the cry at the moment of arrival. It means being thrown into a world that has been running long before we arrived. We cannot choose the era we are born into, or the body we inhabit, yet we must bear everything that comes with it: pressure to survive, competition, social expectations. The suffering of birth is not a specific, painful event, but the inherent weight of existence, like carrying a backpack for so long that you forget it is there, yet your shoulders have never truly relaxed. 2. The suffering of aging, time's one-way current. Aging does not happen suddenly. It hides in details we would rather ignore. Recovery takes longer. Memory fades. Roles are replaced. The real pain of aging is not wrinkles or gray hair, but the realization that the world no longer revolves around you. Your experience is labeled outdated. Your opinions are politely dismissed. The abilities you once took pride in are slowly no longer needed. Aging is a one-way road. You see its direction clearly, yet there is no turning back. 3. The suffering of illness, the collapse of control. Illness reveals a harsh truth. The body does not fully belong to me. You believe you are in control of work, plans, the future. Then illness strikes and everything collapses. Schedules are disrupted. Confidence erodes. Dependence appears. You rely on medicine, on doctors, on the care of others. The once independent, powerful self becomes fragile. Illness is the body's ruthless lesson to the illusion of control. 4. The suffering of death, a rehearsal of ultimate separation. Death is humanity's deepest fear, not because it is unknown, but because it means separation from everything we love. The career you built, the people you cherish, your memories, your identity, your sense of self, all will disappear at a certain moment. The suffering of death is not only the end of life, but the ultimate challenge to the idea of me. It forces us to ask, if everything will vanish, what are we clinging to right now? 5. The suffering of separation from loved ones. The pain of impermanence. We connect through love, and we suffer through change. Separation does not always come through death. More often, it comes quietly, as life gently pushes people in different directions. Once inseparable, now unsure how to even ask, "How have you been?" It is not that love was wrong. It is that the world is impermanent. This suffering teaches us to cherish is not to grip tighter, but to learn the art of letting go. 6. The suffering of encountering what we hate. The cost of resistance. There are people and situations you desperately wish to avoid, yet they keep reappearing. You try to escape, only to find yourself trapped in the same cycle. You believe the problem lies outside, in that person, that situation. But what truly drains you is not the event itself, but your endless inner resistance. Like struggling in water, the more you fight, the faster you sink. This suffering tells us acceptance requires far less energy than resistance. 7. The suffering of not getting what one desires. The bottomless well of craving. We live in an era that constantly says, it's still not enough. What we want, we cannot get. What we get quickly loses its shine. New desires arise immediately. You believe that once you obtain that thing, that status, that person, you will be happy. But when you finally get it, the joy is brief. Soon, you want the next thing. This suffering exists not because the world is stingy, but because desire never promised fulfillment. It only promised that you would keep wanting. 8. The suffering of the 5 aggregates in flames, the engine of all suffering. The Buddha taught that. The first 7 sufferings are not the root. The true source lies deeper. It is called the suffering of the 5 aggregates in blazing activity. The 5 aggregates that make up our experience are form, the body, and material world, feeling, sensations, and emotions, perception, concepts, and interpretations, mental formations, intentions, and impulses, consciousness, awareness itself. They are constantly changing, like a flowing river, yet we cling to them and say, this is my body. This is my emotion. This is my thought. This is me. We try to freeze a moving river into a fixed self. So when the body disobeys, we suffer. When emotions overwhelm us, we suffer. When reality does not comply, we suffer. 5 aggregates in flames means this. When we cling to a changing self, greed, anger, and ignorance ignite like fire. Greed, wanting more. Anger, rejecting what is. Ignorance, not seeing reality clearly. These 3 fires use self as fuel, continuously generating suffering. This is the engine behind the first 7 sufferings. Understand this, and you hold the master switch of pain. Act 2 Hope. The Buddha did not stop at suffering. The Buddha's greatness lies here. He did not merely say, life is suffering. If that were all, it would be no different from pessimism. He clearly and confidently declared, suffering can cease, and there is a path. This path is known as the 4 Noble Truths. 1. Acknowledge suffering, the truth of suffering. 2. Identify its cause, the truth of origin. 3. Realize the possibility of liberation, the truth of cessation. 4. Walk the path of practice, the truth of the path. This is not religious consolation, nor motivational rhetoric. It is a life operating system upgrade, tested for over 2,500 years. It tells us suffering is not the end. Awakening is. Act 3 Modern echoes why this matters to you today. 2.5 millennia have passed. Technology has transformed everything. Smartphones, artificial intelligence, space exploration. but the structure of the human mind remains unchanged. We still revolve within the 8 sufferings. Only their appearance has changed. No longer threats to survival, but emptiness of meaning. No longer material scarcity, but spiritual desolation. We possess more than any generation before us. Yet we are more uncertain than ever about what we truly need. Genius Hub Education, 智慧学院, exists to be a bridge, allowing ancient wisdom to function once again within modern lives, not to escape modern society but to live within it, with greater clarity. Understanding why we suffer is only the first step. What truly matters is walking beyond it. Next episode? Extinguishing the fire of suffering, the 4 noble truths and the 8-fold path as the ultimate remedy. Suffering can cease, and you can become your own healer. Genius Hub Education, guarding the light of awakening.